I don't want to be seen as a criminal. I don't want to be seen as an incarcerated person. I want to be seen as Gwen Levi.
So now that you're out, can you tell us some of the things you do on a day-to-day basis?
I think the initial step was just coming home to family. You know, that was I think the greatest joy, the greatest part of it was reuniting with my mom. She's 94 years old. She is awesome.
After spending 16 years in federal prison for conspiring to sell heroin, 75-year-old Gwen Levi is finally home.
Being inside, I missed a lot. Graduations, weddings, grandkids getting married, grandkids being born. I wasn't able to attend the funeral of my only daughter. I missed so much.
Of all things, it was the pandemic that handed Gwen an unexpected second chance. Last spring, as COVID-19 tore through the country, prisons were among the worst hotspots, at one point with an infection rate 4 times greater than the general population. So the U.S. government took drastic action. As part of what's known as the CARES Act, thousands of incarcerated people convicted of nonviolent crimes were allowed to go home. It's called home confinement. People can often leave their houses to work or shop with restrictions, and they're still supervised and monitored with an ankle bracelet. And many of them, like Gwen, still have many years left to serve.
When the possibility that I could be with my family, to come out and let them see the new me, the person that I had become.
So now that you're out, you're home with your family, tell me what that's like.
Oh man, it's great.
KENDRICK Fulton was convicted of conspiracy to distribute cocaine. So far, he served more than 17 years, and he still has 12 years left on his sentence.
I just started working, and I was able to spend time with my family, just able to catch up. And for the simple fact that I'm home in my living room 12 years sooner.
But all of it could soon end for KENDRICK, Gwen, and thousands of others. Just 5 days before President Trump left office, the Department of Justice issued a new guidance, a memo declaring that once the pandemic emergency is over, some 4,500 people who were released may have to return to prison.
It's shocking and it's inexplicable.
I spoke with Kevin Ring, president of Families Against Mandatory Minimums.
Remember, when they're on home confinement, they got an ankle monitor. Every movement they make is monitored. Everyone recognizes the problem, but the administration hasn't made any movement to fixing it.
It didn't take a degree or Dr. Fauci's resume to realize that our prisons were particularly vulnerable.
The issue has now reached Congress. 2 weeks ago, Senators Dick Durbin and Cory Booker called on Attorney General Merrick Garland to take action. They wrote that the policy incorrectly interprets the CARES Act and called on the Attorney General to rescind it. I went to the Capitol to speak to Senator Durbin about what happens next.
From the viewpoint of America's security and the safety of families, it makes no sense to say everybody has to go back to jail. The law doesn't require it. I think this memo should be discounted dramatically because of the political circumstances. And it would be a burden on taxpayers, not to mention on the prisoners and their families.
Senator, politics has been rough for incarcerated people for many years. I know that firsthand. I was incarcerated for 27 years myself.
Oh.
And I went in when I was 17, and I had been a changed person for decades. And when I hear what's going on with this CARES Act and these people potentially going back, some of these people have been out for almost a year now, and they have been taking care of their families. They've been doing great. What would you say to them?
I'd say to them, lead your life, be with your family, make your future now, and let us do the work of at least telling this administration that there are many members of Congress who believe you deserve that chance.
Whether the Attorney General agrees remains to be seen. The Justice Department told us the Bureau of Prisons will have discretion to keep inmates on home confinement after the pandemic if they're close to the end of their sentences. For harder cases, this will be an issue only after the pandemic is over. That's clearly not imminent. And that they are expanding the criteria for home confinement and taking steps to ensure individualized review. What is your message to some people who may always see you as a threat to society?
I did something in 2002 when I was 28, 29. I'll be 48 in June. I haven't been a threat. I haven't been violent in prison. I wasn't violent before prison. So when do I become a threat?
For now, all Kendrick and Gwen can do is live with the unknown and wait, hoping they will not have to say goodbye to their families again.
I don't think society wants me to continue to go back to the past, continue to go back. You sent me someplace to change. Now you tell me that I got to keep carrying that baggage with me. You know, I got to keep feeling the threat of going back when I know that I'm trying to make choices that take me forward.